So every so often, especially on your form tailoring scissors, what you can get is a build up of the glue on your scissors. And when you're trying to use them, you'll find they aren't as effective as normal. So every so often, I would just recommend taking a disinfectant wipe, a baby wipe or anything, just to remove some of that glue residue, and they'll be working perfectly again. I don't recommend the wipes as an alternative to sanitation or disinfection. I just do this to remove some of the debris prior to sanitation, disinfection and sterilisation. So first of all, we must understand the difference between sanitation, disinfection and sterilisation. So when we want to sanitise our tools, the first step for this is washing our tools with a warm soapy water. So you can get the tools like this and wash them, and you can get the little nail brushes as well to scrub the warm soapy water. You can also do it with the scissors open like this. It is your preference. Government legislation states that wipes are only a sufficient sanitation if they contain higher than 60% ethanol alcohol. They do not, however, disinfect or sterilise, so you must only use these as a first step sanitation method. Disinfectants must always be used in line with the manufacturer's instructions. So methods of disinfection will include hospital grade and approved disinfection solutions such as barbicide or Mundo. So you can get different kinds of disinfectants. So today I'm going to demonstrate with the Mundo Rapid Instrument and Tool Disinfectant. So this is a ready to use liquid, so we don't have to worry about mixing it. It is important that you always thoroughly read the whole entire label on your disinfectant or your sanitation product and follow the manufacturer's instructions to a T. For example, let's look at this Mundo solution. So first of all, we must wash the tools and instruments in clean water. So this is where we will use the soap and water to remove any debris, and then we will rinse the tools in clean water afterwards to remove any soapy residue. You then immerse in the Mundo Rapid Instrument and Tool Disinfectant, ensuring that all surfaces are covered. So here we've got a disinfectant tool tray, and this is what I recommend when disinfecting your tools rather than using a jar, because if we refer back to this point, immerse in rapid instrument and tool disinfectant, ensuring that all surfaces are covered. If we use a jar, what happens is we pop the scissors in here and maybe half to 3/4 of your tool will be submerged. Now we've only used this part on the customer. We may have worn gloves or we may not have worn gloves, but we could still be touching this area, and this part, the handle and the other part of the scissors, can still pick up contaminants. So it's important that you fully submerge the whole entire tool, and this is why I recommend the disinfectant tray, which I shall show you shortly. And if we go back to reading the manufacturer's instructions, on this particular product, so sometimes the ready to use and the ones that you mix the solution yourself, they will have different instructions. For this particular product, leave for a minimum of 5 minutes. For full effectivity, leave for 30 minutes. So this is quite a different product to the ones where you mix yourself, which are to be submerged in the liquid, usually for anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes. Okay. It is important, you can see that it's in bold, do not exceed this time. What happens if you exceed this time is that you can cause damage to your tools, and this is where you'll find that you get premature rusting and damage to your tools. Your tools are not meant to be left in the solution for more than your manufacturer's recommended time. It's important never to do this. So with these, you will allow to dry in a paper or cloth, or you could also dry these off yourself. I always recommend using a clean cloth to dry these yourself, to avoid leaving it on a towel where the water will be on it and it could again cause some rusting. So it's important to make sure the right metals are matched with the solution. So here, do not use with brass, copper, aluminium parts or colour-coded instruments. Colour-coded instruments have a coating on, and what that coating does is it can have problems when disinfectant and sterilising solutions are added. So this is why all of our tools are stainless steel and they are in their purest form, and this allows the best disinfectant and sterilisation procedures because there's no colour coating that could get damaged, and then also that can rust and that could start wearing off and cause issues with your tools. So we are now going to use the disinfectant solution in our disinfection tray. As you can see, this opens and this part comes up and down. So we would place our tools in here, and then when we close it, they then submerge in the liquid. So you need to make sure that you've got enough liquid to submerge your tools fully. We would then open this, and we would be able to remove our tools. We'd allow them to dry, and then we'd be able to sterilise them. So as I said, I recommend opening your tools fully like this to make sure every part of it is coated. So I'm just going to pop this out. I'm going to take my Mundo Rapid Instrument and Tool Disinfectant pre-mixed, and I am going to pour it in the bottom of this tray. I'm going to place enough in there to ensure that all the tools will be submerged when I close the box. So we could just do a test with one to check, and you can see that that tool is submerged. So you can do a couple of tools at a time or one at a time to suit you. And this is easy to do in between customers. It can be good practice to have a couple of sets of different tools to work with. So one set can be disinfecting and the other set can be being used on your client. So you're never without your tools. And pop the cuticle pusher in. So I just want to just hold that straight so I can line these up so all surfaces of the tools can be disinfected. And then close it. Now this will be submerged for 30 minutes, following the manufacturer's instructions on the Mundo Rapid Instrument and Tool Disinfectant. So once those tools have been submerged for the correct time, I'm going to take some tissue. So you could take a soft paper towel and a towel. We're going to remove these and we're going to place them on here to allow them to dry. We're going to discard of that liquid, and we're going to follow the manufacturer's instructions on how to dispose of the solutions. So we can leave them like this, or what we can do is we can get another towel and we can fully dry these off. Once these have been disinfected and they are fully dry, you can pop them back to safely store them in your box. It's important to make sure they have been thoroughly dry before you do this, because trapping any damp in this box will cause damage and rusting to your tools. All of these products must be bought from reputable manufacturers and not third-party retailers, as there's no way of being sure of its effectiveness. So we recommend the MBO autoclave. It's a hospital approved grade autoclave, and what it will do, it sterilises your tools in just 7, 15 or 30 minutes. So it's really good for a turnover of your tools to make sure that they are sterilised, ready for your next customer. Whilst in the UK, it is not legislation that you have to sterilise. We do recommend it because, as already mentioned, it is the only form of cleaning that will guarantee that all bacteria, virus, fungal and spore forms are eliminated and killed.